here? Is there no IT in this building?
don't
Want me to walk down and see if I can find someone in IT?
know. I don't know how much I'll be able to help. We could try.
Do you have, my phone's out in the car.
I have mine.
Do you have Teams?
Yes.
Okay, can we get a hold of Strap?
Yep.
Hopefully he's not still in the LT.
He's not answering.
Can everyone hear me okay in the Zoom session?
Okay, I can hear you.
Great, thank you, Josephine. I can hear you. I appreciate you letting me know.
Hey,
Hey,
Josephine.
hello, Diana. Oh,
Hi,
it's
Kendra.
Kendra. Hi, Kendra.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Robin, Kendra.
Hey.
I just
Oh, you're working on that. Does it have to do with the,
cannot answer that, and I need to sign out of that. Okay, can everybody hear me now? I was talking, I have myself muted.
Video.
All right, great.
Wow.
Can everybody see my screen okay?
Yep.
Okay, great. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Let me make sure we don't have anybody else waiting in the waiting room. I don't think we do. We are good there. All right, welcome everybody to a deeper dive into Almanack AI. Diana is going to say something real quick first. She'd like to tell you, and then we'll get started with the presentation.
Hello, everybody. I want to give a plug that this is sponsored by the Teaching and Learning Center. So thank you, Casey, for helping me with this project. We want to show you how you can work smart and not hard with this webinar. Thanks for joining us.
All right, thank you, Diana. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So this workshop, the outcomes of this workshop are hopefully you'll understand what Almanack is, how to access Almanack, how to navigate it. If you were in my sessions that we did at in-service, I talked about some caveats. We're going to cover those again when it comes to AI. And then we're going to actually do some things in Almanack and generate some things, courses, course schedules, units, lessons, lesson plans, lesson resources, plans, essay, feedback, all kinds of stuff. And then also finally, how to locate some resources for help with Almanack. So let's get started. What is Almanack? Almanack is a smart course material generator and lesson planner for educators. You can create lesson plans, all kinds of course materials, resources, using its AI recommendations. And again, you can create, and you may have seen this if you attended my in-service session, but if you didn't, you're going to see it today. And they say extensive, I mean, tons of resources you can create via AI for any lesson or topic in one of your classes. But before we get into it, let's talk about some caveats when it comes to AI, right? If you're been in the military, you may have heard this term before, but trust but verify, right? We want to make sure that that AI content that we're generating is accurate. We still need to look at it, read it, check it to make sure it's not giving inaccurate information to our students when we're generating that content, right? It also needs to be accessible. Make sure that it meets accessibility requirements, the links, images, things like that are all in accessible formats. And also you got to think about bias, right? AI can't have bias. And so maybe the example that would be like content you're generating and it's a case study and all your case studies are about white males, right? That would be something that you may want to be able to look at and maybe ask the software to regenerate and consider other consider diversity in other genders and things like that. And then also you got to think about privacy and data security, right? FERPA, HIPAA, any information we put into AI, we got to be careful not to have student identifiable information. HIPAA, if you are in the health programs, teaching and nursing, you want to be careful about that. Those of you that are in manufacturing aviation, you may be dealing with some content that is proprietary. So trade secrets, things like that, you want to be aware of. And then other identifiable information, right? And then finally, academic integrity. Can the content you're creating, maybe it's a quiz or a test, can a student use that same tool and log in and reproduce that and use it for something that isn't, something for cheating or dishonesty, things like that. So you got to think about that. Maybe you have it create a test for you, but you tweak those answers and those questions and things like that. So can the student reproduce the same content with AI that you are? And so you want to make sure that you do that, take that into consideration. All right, so how do you access and navigate Almanack? First of all, Almanack, you go to the website app.almanack.ai. You can Google and say Almanack AI. It's spelled a little bit different from the regular. It's got a K at the end than the regular Almanack, like Farmer's Almanack, right? I recommend you create an account. You can create an account using your email, or you can, if you already have a Google account, you can log in with that. That's what I do. And then, hi guys, and then how do you navigate? So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna escape out of here and I'm gonna go to the actual Almanack site. So once you're logged in, this is Almanack. And there's a navigation pane here on the side. There's an area for plans, which we'll do that last, and I'll explain why here in a little bit. But then you can create courses, you have all your resources you create. There is an essay feedback area. And then if you need to manage your account, reset your password, things like that. And there's also a help section. So those are all there on the left-hand side of the navigation pane. Sorry, I'm having to do this every time. Okay, so let's talk about courses and course schedule. So you can actually create a course and you can name it the name of a course that you're teaching. And inside there, that course automatically can be used to generate lessons and units. And I usually use, when I create the lessons and units, I say college for the grade level, because this is also able to be used for K through 12 as well. And then you'll want to set up your course schedule. You can set it up with your start end dates, the days your class meets, and that assigns due dates to each lesson. And I'm going to show you an example of that now. So again, thank you for bearing with me while I kind of navigate. I created a college algebra class and I set up a schedule. This is an 8-week class, so it meets from August 21st to October 16th. And then I've already generated my units, and I'll show you how that works in a little bit. But as you can see here, if you create a course schedule, it automatically assigns for each of the units what days you can teach that unit. So in this case, this unit is taught for 3 days. The next unit is taught for 4 days, and it kind of has the different dates. This class meets on the Monday, Wednesday, by the way. So that's a really cool feature. And we'll go into actually creating another course from scratch, and I'll show you all of this. But I'm using this one because I already created kind of a starting point as an example. And thank you for bearing with me while I have to keep on doing this every single time. All right. So you can also generate units using AI, or you can manually do that. And then it's automatically going to generate your lesson topics and your lesson objectives with that unit. So let's actually, I'm going to go back and I'm actually going to create a course and units and show you how that works. I told Missy Maynard, she showed up, I do theater, was it interpersonal communications. So she's here. So we're going to create a course. We're going to create a course called interpersonal communications. So I'm going to come back here and I'm going to click add a course. It's going to be interpersonal communications. Again, I talked about the grade level. I'm putting college and I'm going to click OK. Now, I can set up my course schedule here. So again, I'm just going to do Monday, Wednesday. I'm going to add my start date, end dates. I'm going to leave it as an 8-week class, these dates, but I could change it. It meets weekly, Monday, Wednesday. And I'm going to start teaching. Actually, I want to put today's date, but I want to go back and start it on August 21st. And I'm going to hit save. And so now that course schedule is applied to this course. So now you can see I can add some units to this course. So I'm going to click generate units using AI. And automatically it's creating my units. Interaction, interpersonal communication, verbal communication, and it's adding lessons under there for me too. Now, this is probably more units. And in fact, it did do more units than I need, because as you can see, it went all the way to December 4th. So there's more units. So sometimes you might have to delete those units or move them around so they meet your dates. But let's go into conflict resolution to that unit. So you can see now we have several lessons that were generated. If I go into that lesson, it also has my learning objectives. I can put those. Sorry, I'm also having to admit people to in here as well. So thank you for your patience while I do that. All right, so that is how you can actually have it. When you create the course, you can have it create your lessons and your units. So again, I showed you how to create the lessons. It creates those learning objectives automatically for each unit. Then you can also create a lesson plan. And I'm going to show you an example of a lesson plan I already created for that college algebra class. So let me go back to the college algebra real quick. And in this first unit, review of pre-algebra, I've created a lesson plan for that first lesson. In this case, it's real numbers and operations. And it automatically will do this for you. You add the sections you want. So I put in objectives, hook, instructional steps, guided practice, homework, and closure. And then what it does after that is you can go in and you can have it generate what needs to go in that section of your lesson plan. And then you can find resources to match that section of your lesson plan. It's kind of cool, like this is all the instructional steps. And you can export this lesson plan into a Microsoft Word document. So I'll do that real quick and show you what that looks like. And there's my lesson plan with my objectives, my hook, and I can edit this and make it my own.
It just
to have
spits this out for you?
steps. What's that?
It just spits this out for you?
Yeah. A question was from one of the people in the room. It just spits it out for you. And yep, it does. That's what it does. There's guided practice, homework, the closure. So there's different components of that lesson plan that I've generated just for that lesson. But then I can also make lesson resources. So I've created a worksheet, I've created a slide deck, some practice problems that go along with those items in my lesson plan. So if you want to create a new resource, you can click create resource right here, and it gives you some options. You could do an assessment, a group activity, video recommendation. So some of you saw this before in my previous session. Let's say I want video recommendations. It will generate video recommendations for me on this. It may take a minute or two to show up, but there are all types of videos I can use on order of operations, real numbers, things like that. Let me go back to lesson resources here. I'm going to create another resource. I can do a worksheet. So if I want to do a worksheet, it would give me ideas for the worksheet. For example, basic operation practice worksheet with real numbers. I click on that. I click create. It automatically creates that worksheet for me. And then I can also export out. That worksheet once it's done. Still working here, but once it's done, I can output that as a Word document or a PDF as well. Or I can copy and paste that. Unfortunately, it doesn't have an export feature to go into the LMS. So you would have to do copy and pasting for these type of activities. But it is so right here, once it's done, I can export to a PDF, a Google Doc, or a Word doc. So kind of get ahead of myself a little bit, but the lesson plan is really cool. And then we have, like I said, all the lesson resources. And again, you want to maybe make those activities match your lesson plan, or maybe if you don't have a lesson plan, you just want to create activities, you can do that. And again, you can make changes, export them, you can upload, you can also upload documents and create resources based off of that document as well. So if you have a handout and you want to create a worksheet based on your handout, you can upload that worksheet and then say create, go to resources and create a handout. So let me come back here, we'll do another resource. So for example, if I want to do a slide deck on real numbers operations, it could create a slide deck for me and I could click create. Now, remember I talked about the caveats. One of the things you would want to check is, and right now I can see right away, maybe that isn't quite the font and things like that might not be accessible. So you want to make sure that the content that you're generating is in an accessible format. Once you've created like the slide deck, you can again, it's not done, but you can export it out, I think to Google, or you can export out as a PowerPoint slide. And then you can make your edits there. I'll probably tell you the images don't have probably their the the alternate text. So you'll have to do some things like that, but it's a starting point for you. But what's nice is these are editable, so you can correct them, make them accessible, things like that if you need to. All my lesson resources I make, so I've made all these different resources for this lesson. Once I made them, they show up here for me to access again. So it's also like a repository of all my content I've made. Let's see, let me look at the chat or the room. Does anybody want to try? Let's see, Missy, let's go back to your course. And let's go to the verbal communication. Is there a, and let's go to one of these effective listening skills. Missy, is there a lesson resource you want to try to make that we can make for this particular lesson?
A chart where they,
It's got to be one of these
Well, it's gotta be one of
options
these
up here, but a chart might be available once we click one of these. Like a worksheet maybe, or
okay, a worksheet on where they monitor their listening for 3
all right,
days.
so it I think you can also type, we could type a worksheet you want to create, we can do that. Or you can pick one of these that are up here. I know it's kind of hard to read. Let me see if I can make things a little bit bigger.
I like the role playing, that sounds like fun.
The role playing worksheet where students practice active listening techniques and
Yeah.
so I click on that and I click create, and it's gonna generate that worksheet for me to have the students do with instructions and everything.
Just the idea generation of doing a role playing like that is really cool. And then to think that it gives you a layout for it.
It's really interesting, it works so fast. Yeah,
And then if I want to make change, what I like about this too is I can also, if I want to add, it gives me ideas if I want to add to it. If it isn't 100% the way I like it, I can click on these, or I can edit it and do what I want to it too. Does anybody in the Zoom like want to try something, a course? We're kind of at that point where we can kind of play around. If you want to create an account and also try that on your own, you can. But anybody, feel free to unmute yourself and ask me to create a course, and we'll create a course for something that you're interested in. I want to make sure I have everybody here. Chris, Mal, I know you've joined us via Zoom. Do you want me to try a course on unmute yourself if you want to, Chris. I know you're looking at some content. Is it, I think it's like concrete construction.
Yeah, concrete.
So concrete construction techniques, maybe? Is that something like we could do a course on?
Yeah, or finishing, or pouring, forming.
Tell me exactly what to put in there and I'll put it in there.
Concrete forms.
Concrete what?
Forms.
Forms?
F-O-R-M-S.
Okay, great. And we'll put college. And we're gonna add units. Does this look like it would be content that would be for your class, that type of class?
Yes.
And then you could just go in, like if you want to look at construction techniques for concrete forms, you go in there. It has erecting and aligning framework, bracing. What I love about Almanack is it works for gen ed type of topics or other disciplines. I know we have some WSU folks here. Welcome WSU folks, by the way, they have joined. So there's multi-disciplines that can be used, but also all the tech ed disciplines. This is, I mean, you can create stuff. I've played around, I've done composites, I've done aviation maintenance technology. I know you could do welding. We have several welding teachers here. You guys want to do a welding one? Let's do a welding one.
Do it. Could we do about 7 or 8 of them?
7 or 8 is about what we need. What's one like SMAW?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do SMAW welding. I don't, well, maybe we could try just SMAW and see what it does.
It does.
Oops.
Nice.
Okay, let's go ahead and generate our units. You know what it was?
There it is.
Oh, my goodness.
Holding and striking an arm.
So,
Repairing weld defects. I saw that on there too. Not a problem for me.
so
You just never get those done.
yeah, so there's all kinds of cool things here. Getting back to, and then I want to leave time for us to also just explore and ask questions. But I do want to cover a few other things here. So again, you can create all those lesson resources, but you also have, it's a new feature in Almanack called plans, and you can select the type of plan you want, or you can make your own type of plan and add plan components. But you base off a course you've created that already has lessons and units. And you can have AI suggest activities. For example, you do intervention strategies. You know, we do assessment at WSU Tech, and a lot of times you have to do intervention strategies for maybe an area that your assessment data shows that you need to improve on. So I actually, for college algebra, under plans, I created an intervention strategies plan. And it is based on the course, the college algebra, but then each unit comes up and I can add intervention strategies as a plan for that unit. In this case, I'm not doing it for the first unit, but I have my second unit on linear functions and equations. I need to do some intervention strategies. I can have it actually generate those intervention strategies for me or recreate other ones. And then again, I could go back and try to find resources to help me with those intervention strategies.
Casey, where did you go to get intervention?
Okay, so I'll show you how I did that. So you would create a new plan, and then you can select a plan name, or I did other and named it intervention strategies.
Okay.
So you can make your own type of plan that if you don't want to use one of theirs, I can
And
spell.
if your course already has outcomes that you have to teach to, that you don't get to choose, on one of these steps, you can actually edit the course outcomes to be the ones that you are teaching from, and then it will generate based on your outcomes.
So in case you guys didn't hear the Zoom session, Christian was talking about that if it doesn't generate the outcomes that match the ones you're supposed to be using or teaching to based on the course standards, then you can edit those and make those match. So this is where I did that. Diana, I just called it intervention strategies, click continue. I picked the course I want to do it on. Maybe I'll do interpersonal communications now and click continue. But you have to have a course created and lessons generated before you can set up a plan for it. And so now I have all those, and then I can come up here to add a section. And I can have it, I can put whatever I want, or I can have it generate some ideas for me. And that's where I actually there's different ones on here, differentiation strategies. But I found, I like the one that was intervention strategies, and I did that one. But you can have a plan, you can set up a plan and have it generate a plan for each of these units. And you can have that plan for the whole course for the whole year if you want to. So it's a really cool feature as well. Carolyn or John Jones or John Hammer, feel free if you guys want to unmute. Is there a course? I don't know if you've logged in and created an account, but I'm happy to try a course one of you at WSU if you want me to, and we can look at that.
Hey, Casey, I'm curious because I used the native tools inside of Blackboard, which are similar to this, to build an instructional design course for fall. So I'm curious as to how this would, what it would do.
Okay, so do we just want to call it like instructional design fundamentals, or what do you want to maybe call it?
Yeah, I would call it, Introduction to Instructional Design. It's a graduate level course.
Okay.
I'm curious.
I've been putting college, but we could put, of course, if I know how I can spell it right. I could put graduate level, maybe. I can't spell today. Graduate level college. I just always put college.
Yeah, try that. It's
just try graduate.
It's got
level.
some intelligence in there, right? It should know.
Yeah, let's try it. Okay, and then I'm going to generate the units.
Addie.
Is this more basic, or is it?
No, this is about where we are.
That's
Similar.
cool though. I did hear about the AI in Blackboard Ultra. That's cool that it will do this too. I wish this would integrate with Blackboard, or since we're going to Canvas too, and maybe they're working on that.
I bet they are.
But and then you could generate even more if you want, or if you have a unit that you want to put in yourself. I think I haven't actually tried putting in. You want to try adding a unit and see if it'll generate less than a unit?
Sure, I have a unit on something like the impact of artificial intelligence on instructional design.
I think this is where this tool becomes very powerful. It's not just that it spits stuff out at you, it allows you to interact with it to get what you really need to more depth.
Yeah, so that's essentially the same output as I was getting through our tools. It looks good to me.
Yeah, so and then the final thing I did want to show you that I really just would like to spend some time having all of you just take maybe 10 or 15 minutes and if you haven't already created an account and try some on your own as well, some of these different features and ask questions. But I did want to show you one other thing that's kind of interesting with Almanack, and I'm not going to go to full screen. I'll just show you the screen. But you can do essay feedback. You can upload a document. It has to be in PDF, Word, or text formats. And you can have it you can either use the provided instructions for feedback or type in your own. But you do have to keep in mind for open HIPAA and having student identifiable information in there. What I did is I took an abstract I had to write for a class, and it does have my name on it, but I don't care. But you can see here, so you can see the abstract. And then here is where you enter the instructions for the feedback. By default, this is what's here, but you can type in here and add to it or delete it here if you want more specific. I'm just gonna leave it as is here for now. And I'm gonna regenerate the feedback down here, and it gives me feedback that I can look at. I can copy and paste that, edit it, if I want to tweak it. But you just have to be very careful about student identifiable information. Right? Because again, I left mine in there because I didn't care, but right. And you would just upload that document here to have it run, and then it'll generate it for you.
That is a very cool feature, Casey.
Who's that's talking?
Me, John Hammer.
Oh, John. Yeah, it's a cool feature. Again, I just have to give that warning. Don't include student identifier, especially if you're English and it's like a narrative or something that is a personal experience. You may have to be careful about that. You might be able to, I don't know, you could probably, before you put it in there, you could save a copy and redact some information out there before you upload it. You can remove the identifiable information.
Carolyn
Hey,
has-
Casey,
Yeah, Carolyn.
on that point, one of the concerns that we train on using ChatGPT for the same function. And one of the concerns that we try to mitigate some of the privacy things is not to put a document in it, because the document contains metadata that contains their name, whether you take their name off or not. So thinking about using a copied in version rather than a document version might also help mitigate some FERPA concerns.
That's a good point. Thank you, Carolyn. Yeah, so maybe you copy and paste, and the metadata is your own.
Yeah, it's your own.
Yeah.
Casey,
the
this is
metadata
John.
you share is your own.
Casey, this is John Jones. I'm just wondering if are there any assurances on the terms and conditions from the company that let us know how data that we put into the tool is going to be used in the future to train their AIs more and stuff like that?
I've looked a little bit about that, but I can't see exactly where they talk about that exactly. Let me show you. There's a terms of service here. You can look at it's their website, their main website. is the almanack.ai, and you can get on and view those terms. Let's look and see. There's a privacy policy here. That. Oh, well, there you go. That's not there. I'll have to ask them. I think that's what I tried to look and see. Oh, here's content ownership. All materials used within the services remain yours. I'm not a legal person, John, so maybe you see something there that pops out to you. But yes, that's something to consider. And I think that's something you could also ask them if you're not sure about. Because I do want to show you that they do have on their help, they have a Facebook group. You can't see the post. Well, see, let me see if I can see it here. If it shows the discussion, I think you have to join it. I'm not logged into Facebook, but they have a great Facebook community, and I've had a few issues, and they've already answered them for me. So that might be a place to ask too if you have questions about that, John. Did I answer your question, John, by showing you this page? And are you there, John?
Sorry, I muted myself again. Yeah, that's useful. Thank you.
Did you see anything out there that popped out to you that they maybe keep that information? Or I guess I'm kind of reading it too, but
yeah, I mean, there's nothing. What's there is pretty standard boilerplate. I would want to know in more depth what happens with what we put into the fields. If we upload a document, does that become a document that is preserved for training purposes of the AI in the future and that sort of thing? So, I mean, those are all just sort of hot button concerns people have. And I would want to make sure I had answers for that.
I definitely would post that. I think other people probably have that question too. I would join that this teacher community on Facebook, this group. They've been so very responsive. I mean, I had an issue and I posted on there, and like probably 6 hours later they had it fixed. They got back to me and they had it fixed. So they're very responsive to questions and things like that. Christy said, I found a rubric creation option in the lesson resources inside a specific unit. So Christy, should we maybe walk me through that, how you found that? Let's try that.
This is super cool. You have to add it as your own, though. It doesn't have it as one of the suggestions.
Okay,
So go pick one of your units that you're in, so that we're at that unit resources level. And where it says create your own. So you have assessment,
right
interview,
here, right
create your own. I put in rubric.
Rubric, okay. And then it still will give you ideas, a points based.
One of those ideas, and then
I'll do a point-based rubric here and then create. But I think you were asking, Carolyn, does it grade using a rubric in that where you upload the essay feedback? Is that what you were wanting to know?
Yeah, that's
Carolyn?
if it could apply a rubric.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about it is it doesn't put this rubric in. It doesn't look like it puts the rubric in a chart format. Did it in a table?
Mine did on mine. It gave me objective 1, and then it gave me 4 levels of achievement with criteria. So the one that it did for me looks a little bit different than that. Interesting.
I don't think you can use a rubric on that other one, Carolyn, but again, they are so responsive. I would definitely put that in that Facebook group too and ask if that's a feature that they can add. And maybe you can have it generate the rubric for you there via using AI, and then use that rubric to grade.
On a new course I just created, when it said AI suggested resources, rubric was under that.
Okay, so Diana created a new course under AI suggested resources that had rubric under there. But again, that still doesn't answer the essay feedback one,
Right.
Carolyn, but that would be cool, definitely. Anybody else want to try a course or anything like that? Again, I've kind of covered everything. I just kind of went about around, but my last slide was this, how to access the help in the Facebook page. They also have a support, and I'll show you that real quick, I guess. They have a support at almanack.ai email too. If you don't feel comfortable posting your question in the Facebook group, you can, or if it's an issue that is more private, you can email them. And then on our innovation cafe, we've also added under, just gonna confirm and continue. Under we have under tech, AI tools. Oops, I didn't mean to click on that. Apologize. Let me get back. Sorry, it's doing this weird thing that Zoom covers things. Sorry, I meant to. I'll just go back into it here. Okay, under tech and then AI tools, and then AI tools here at the bottom. I have that link to the Facebook group, the email address, and this PowerPoint presentation that I have. So that's all there under AI tools for Almanack. So really we have about maybe 20 more, or no, 10 more minutes, 10, 15 more minutes. I'm happy to anybody, if anybody wants me to try a course for them rather than them log in, or you may want to share something they've made or found, either here in person or on Zoom. Love to have you share that. We have plenty of time now. You should be able to maybe hopefully create an account, log in, and maybe make at least one type of resource or make units for a course. Is there really, John, or both Johns or Carolyn, is there another more very like high level, upper level class that is more technical in nature, something that we could try create a course for? You want to try?
I don't really have a good example off the top of my head. The class I teach is a 300 level science or 200 level lit class, so it's going to do that pretty well. It's just a science fiction literature class if you want to throw that in just to see what it does.
Okay, let's do that. Have you tried that in the AI generation with Blackboard too?
And Blackboard, I haven't yet, no. I mean, surely the AIs won't want anything to do with science fiction.
And for those of you that are with WSU Tech, WSU, they have Blackboard Ultra, which has this AI feature. Unfortunately, our Blackboard doesn't have that feature that they're referring to. All right, so science fiction literature, we're going to generate some units.
That looks fun.
Steve Maynard's here. She teaches for his adjunct, and she also owns the Keachai Playhouse.
Yep.
John Hammer, I think you know Misty. Anyway, she's here.
Yep.
It always makes, doesn't it?
Every single semester. Yep. Never any doubt.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, John.
No, I was just never any doubt about whether it's gonna make.
So Pam asked, will our new elements have this feature? I'm sure Canvas is gonna have something soon to compete with Blackboard. I don't doubt it. Is it there yet? No. Maybe by the time we go to Canvas in the spring and or summer, it may be there. Who knows? But very cool. Did you want to try a unit that's not there like we did with Carolyn, John, or are you good?
Well, you can drill into that science fiction and social issues, since you were right there. So then, since it's more recent, throw in resources on snow crash, see what it generates there.
Pick a resource you want me to try.
Oh, let's do video recommendations. These are young students after all.
I couldn't find anything.
Yep, no.
I mean, that's possible. I mean,
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, I chose a newer book because I would be surprised or be interested to see what else it would produce.
here's
So-
reading comprehension questions or character
Sure,
analysis.
yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Any of those, just you tell me which one you want to pick.
Let's do reading comprehension. See what it produces there.
And then there's your ideas of, pick one of those. You want me to do essay questions impacting the novel.
Short answer. Let's do short answer. It'd be easier to see what it's doing. Yeah.
And then you can, if you want to do any tweaks, you can do that.
It's
Casey,
interesting.
trying one of the interactive quizzes because
Try one of the interactive quizzes.
I did an interactive quiz and it actually gave me a scenario hypothetical for them to do the math on and come back with answers.
I don't know if there's interactive. I don't see an interactive.
Try create your own, because the
interactive
AI
quiz.
suggested resources seem to change based on your course.
True.
So it suggested for me an interactive quiz.
Is there any that you want to try there, John?
Ooh, Venn diagram.
Oh, we have to do ethics-based quiz.
It doesn't
Very
do
high
it.
level
It says it's an interactive quiz, but it
Yeah,
doesn't.
it's very, you could ask that it's just sort of insert character name and then everything else is pretty generic.
Yeah.
So mine actually gave me a hypothetical scenario for them to work out, so
did.
that's kind of cool.
Well, and it may be limited by the relative, I mean, it's only a 30-year-old book or so, so it's, not as old as Fahrenheit 451.
Sure. Well, in fact, I know that you've been through you've played probably around with this a little bit, but did you guys find anything that was helpful that or anybody in the chat that's played around with it a little bit?
Made that printed off too.
I did, and I'm about
What's
to
that?
use it.
He made a whole assessment over oxy-fuel welding, which is what we are in right now.
Yep, I'll
And he
use it in 15
Printed
minutes.
it off and he's planning on
yeah.
using it.
So one of the teachers made an assessment on oxy-fuel welding, and they're gonna use it right now in class, like in 15 minutes. As long as it's accurate and it's accessible, make
Yeah,
sure.
I went through it and changed some questions, but yeah.
That's
You
cool.
can also make flashcards to give to your students for just, and then put them into a format
Chrissy
like a
talked about
Quizlet
flashcards.
or a Kahoot,
Yep,
and you could use those in class to
it's a good idea.
have the students practice.
Very cool.
So it doesn't have to stay here. You can generate stuff here and then copy paste it elsewhere.
But I just love the lesson plan too, that you can create a lesson plan and have everything you want and then find things to match that lesson plan and you're good to go. I mean, but again, and you can edit that still, so.
I'm fine, yeah, I'm at school right now.
Anybody else have any questions, comments? We're getting close to the end and we have another class that is gonna be in this room right after us, so we have to wrap up pretty quickly here.
No.
This is right, almost got. Lynn, nursing faculty, have you tried anything? Do you want me to try anything? I know that we have some of you here. Joy or Lynn or.
Maybe I'll probably go back.
I think some of the faculty might have a better idea than I would have.
But what do you think, Lynn, as from a dean perspective?
Yeah, I just got on kind of the tail end of it, but it seems very quick and easy, which I think is probably one of the beauties of it and very robust.
For sure, for sure.
My bad.
Okay, gastrointestinal system lesson. Okay, I we'll see when it comes up. We may like that, we may not. I don't know. I guess it is something that has to be taught then.
Be careful what you ask for, Casey.
I know, right?
Okay. Man, my apologies. I just wanted to.
All right, let's generate some lessons here. Okay. What I also like, but you have to be careful about accessibility and also copyright, but some of the resources actually also have images you can select from images. And there is an option where you can select the royalty-free ones, and you can insert those. Thank you, guys. So,
Can you hear me?
it depends on the resource you create. It has options to add those images in. So, well,
Hey, Joy, were you asking a question?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
When you put something in for GI, put something in more related to nursing care for GI disorders.
Okay.
And it's a little more specific instead of just the general stuff that you might see in A&P versus nursing.
Sure. Let's try that real quick, and then we're gonna probably have to wrap it up. Nursing care
For gastrointestinal disorders.
You can check your spelling.
Is my spelling off?
No, your spelling's great.
Okay. I mean, I just love how it's like less than a minute, and you have.
So yeah, you've got upper GI, lower GI. And those are the disorders that we talk about. It's surgical interventions, KO case studies. Look, there's case studies in clinical decision making.
Even make more if you want. We can generate more.
Managing. IBD. Wow. There you go.
You can delete ones you don't want. You know, you can if you just want the one. So, and it's all a repository. You can keep all this in here. So, I am going to wrap it up. I just want to kind of do a quick review. Hopefully now you know what Almanack is, how to access it, how to navigate it. Keep in mind those caveats and things you got to think about when you're creating the AI content. And hopefully you have an idea of how to use the different areas in Almanack to organize and create materials and content, and how to do the essay feedback if you want to use that, and how to get help. So just appreciate everyone attending today. Thank you. And glad to have all of you here. Thank you for all of you that attended in person and online. So have a great rest of your day.
And we'll be sending out recordings.
Oh, and we'll be sending out a recording of this for everybody that attended. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Casey. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you.